What up, everybody? It's Mason here with Comics and Crosses, where we look at the eternal truths behind our modern mythology. Today we are doing a special Christian perspective comic review of a dope one, a new one out, Batman 3 Jokers, and we're going to start talking about it. Okay guys, so we're talking today Batman 3 Jokers, a hotly anticipated title that has been set up for some time in comics, and I think from the moment it was introduced or revealed kind of resonated with audiences who have followed Batman and Joker for a long time. So this awesome comic book has come out in, I think, 7 titles. It's a prestige format, 3-book limited series, and there are 7 different covers for each book of the series. Whoa now. So I got me a Red Hood cover to book 1 and a Joker fish. I had to go back and get the Joker fish because it just, something about the Joker fish, I don't know, I find them comforting. I don't know, it's silly, but I like it. Anyway, they also, if you picked them up at your LCS, you probably got these cool Batman Joker cards. And as I was saying, this is a series that has been long teased. During the Darkseid War, Batman actually got to sit in Metron's chair. Yeah, became the God of Knowledge for a moment. And so sitting in a chair that was able to provide Batman with any answer he desired, Batman decided to ask, "What is the Joker's name?" To which he got a puzzling reply. Come to find out later in continuity that Batman discovered at that time that there were actually 3 Jokers. Whoa. And at the same time, like I said, it kind of resonates with fans because I think we all knew that Joker was all over the map. I mean, which kind of happens with these long-standing characters that have been around for decades. Also, you know, you got Joker leaving Jokerized fish around, and you got Joker robbing banks and killing people, shooting people in the spine, and there's a lot that falls under the umbrella of Joker's chaos. Anyhow, this book is by Geoff Johns with art by Jason Fabok, Brad Anderson. So let me say this first of all. Geoff Johns, I dig him. I mean, he's written a lot of great comic book content. He's kind of cemented his place, especially for DC. He's got some controversy around him right now, but that's not what this video is about. Geoff Johns' JSA run a number of years back, that was dope. I mean, he's done a ton of stuff for Green Lantern. And the first thing I notice about this book, I will say, is just look at this. We got a prestige format Batman story. And this cover really kind of harkens back to The Killing Joke for me. Just that in the face of the Joker, looking straight on with that craziness. And I would say that after reading this first book, this story is going to be on par with The Killing Joke as one of the greatest Joker stories probably ever told. That's my opinion. It could all fall apart in the next 2 books. I don't know. Things I like about this book, first of all, it is just perfectly scripted. The panels, the writing, everything is very mathematical, I would say. If you look into the book, you'll find that you get pages with 9 panels, exactly, a very structured thing representing the 3 Jokers. I don't want to spoil too much, but this story does seem to focus on the 3 people most affected or most deeply wounded by the 3 different Jokers, which is a cool take, a cool structuring that takes place to the story here, and I'm excited to see where it goes. You got to pick it up and read the first couple pages. You'll be hooked immediately. I was saying on Twitter that, you know what, I felt like I was watching the best Batman movie I've ever seen. For real though. Okay, things that I didn't like about this book. There's maybe only one thing possibly, and it's purely speculative, so this is going to be a spoiler moment, so if you don't want spoilers, just mute the sound just until you see me go like this. Okay, can we do that? So the fact that this ended the way it did, with Jason Todd taking out the one Joker who had harmed him the most, makes me feel like the structure of this story is going to be now Barbara facing the Joker who paralyzed her and ultimately killing him, and then coming down to Bruce facing off against his ultimate Joker, which I'm thinking is the master planner type one we see in the book, and then ultimately deciding not to kill him off. So just this, if that's the structure that they've chosen, and again, this is totally speculative, I can just see that ending coming and almost being a little disappointed. But sometimes the fun is in getting there, and maybe the way that they get us there is going to be rewarding enough for it to almost not matter how it ends. You dig? I wanted to touch upon Christian themes that are present in the book. Obviously, there is one of revenge, vengeance, and justice. So this is something that comes up a lot in Batman, that comes up in titles like The Punisher, where you're really examining what is a righteous justice versus what is just kind of man's bitterness. Batman, we know, has the very firm rule of no killing, that life is precious, and he knows that if he were to start taking lives, he would be no different from those he fights. So this, to the credit of many great writers, has been touched upon in movies like The Dark Knight and in comic series, because there then begs the question of, wouldn't it just be right? Is there a point where it is completely righteous to execute this crazy clown for his crime? And so obviously we're pushing up against that here, and mainly focusing on Jason Todd and his Jason Todd Red Hood and his situation with the Joker having been the one who killed him, back in A Death in the Family. Spoiler warning, circa 1989 or 87, I think. So a very tough thing, even for me to accept, but I think for a lot of people to accept, is that vengeance belongs to the Lord. I think the Christian paradigm would put you in a place where Jesus taught to love your enemies, to bless those who curse you. Now, that doesn't mean that you see a homicidal clown running by when you have a gun in your hand and he's going to go kill somebody and you don't take him out. It's not quite that extreme. But Batman, despite his going around the law, there's a complexity to this, because Batman, like a lot of characters, goes around the law but seems to respect the law in that he's submitting these criminals to the justice system to be processed, to be prosecuted for the crimes, but they always get out and they go do worse stuff. So the main thing that I usually see coming up when it comes to Batman and the Joker battling is the fact that Scripture tells us in ancient Scripture in the Bible that the wrath of man can never produce the righteousness of God. So I think that's an ongoing, frustrating point that Batman has to live with, that he basically, with his fists, can never really right the situation, eliminate crime itself. And I think the Joker's a reminder of that, because the Joker is an embodiment of basically evil, an embodiment of sin. A lot of people, when they think about the idea of Christianity and religion and churches and sin, they think of, oh, I go and confess my sins, the things I did. But actually, if you look into Scripture, in Romans in particular, the Apostle Paul goes into this very deep dive into the history and the substance that makes up the Christian faith. If you ever really wanted to understand the Christian faith, that's a great but very dense book to read. So in that book, he refers to sin something like 40 plus times, and all but a few mentions of those are with sin as a noun. What do I mean by that? I mean, sin is not only a verb. It's not only if I steal someone's something, if I wrong somebody in some way, if I do something evil or perverse, but sin is actually a thing, something within inside of oneself. And the Joker characterizes this great for Batman, who's trying to eliminate all the evil or the sin or the wrong in Gotham City, and yet sin itself exists within man, and you can take away and change as many circumstances as you like, you can punch as many bad guys, but it's just not going away. So there is a futility and a never-endingness that kind of is implied, or almost just must be, when it comes to the Batman and the Joker. But it's always fun to witness their tangles, to explore the where the story goes next, and what more it can teach us about Batman, what more it can teach us about Joker, and what more it can teach us about ourselves even. So I hope you pick this up and enjoy it. I'll put a link in the description. If you've not grabbed this grab this, man, because this is a great story right here. All right, everybody, God bless. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Subscribe, like the video, please. If you don't, I understand, but share it with anybody who you think might really appreciate this content and enjoy going through comics with me and exploring the themes of faith within. So God bless you. God keep you. Talk to you later.